Good morning. How are you? This is the Monday message, but it does happen to be Tuesday. I'm a little behind, but we'll call it the weekly message. So, this is one of these messages that I probably will have to touch just briefly on energies related to political because so many people talk to me about it. But I want to preface my comments to, especially to my new subscribers who don't know me as well. I view this experience, my sister actually gave me a, a t-shirt for Christmas that said, a spiritual being having a human experience. And that's what I believe is true. I could be wrong, but that's where I live. And when I look at things going on in the world or with political figures or celebrities, I see it as theater. And that doesn't mean that I diminish a human being's experience that is painful or that includes loss or happiness. It means I see it as theater, that experiences are for us to expand ourselves as spiritual beings. And we expand and learn through experience. The purpose of experience is not the experience, it's who we become because of the experience. And so I always encourage people not to invest in celebrities or politicians who are living their karma out on display, because that's what they're doing. They're working their karma out on a grand stage. And unless you are an activist, boots on the ground, and then that's part of your karma to participate in some level physically, the best thing any of us can do to influence tangible matter is to imagine the feelings we wish humanity had. So when I think about political processes or anything, I always think about peacefulness. I always think about inclusiveness. I think about understanding and a sense of open-mindedness taking root as a way of being. That's where I put my attention. I don't worry about what one political figure is doing over another. And because that's all I can do at this particular time in my life. If I wasn't involved in all the various things I am right now, maybe I'd have boots on the ground. I'd be out with a sign somewhere. But that's not something that's accessible to me at this point in my life. And I think I'm better, more useful in this capacity, reminding people of these universal truths, of which I've spent my entire life being part of. So it's not as if I'm making this stuff up as I go along. I've lived a life, 40 plus years in this particular realm, studying. I'm an ongoing student. I'm a teacher, but I'm a student. I remain one. And I only talk about things that I know work, things that have some provable value to them. And quantum physics has given me a lot of foundation to rest my belief systems on, which is science. Okay, so all this being said, astrologically, of which I'm not an accomplished astrologer, I wouldn't even pretend to be, it's much too difficult. However, I know enough that we, in 2020, starting in January, we began at the infancy of moving from the Piscean age into the Aquarian age, humanitarian. And as with any large change where we're trying to elevate and progress ourselves, chaos does often ensue. You can look in your own life. If you've ever ended a relationship, a job, had a family issue, shit comes down the pike sometimes. That's part of the tearing down of something. And it isn't comfortable. So as we watch in the United States, the political drama, and it's playing out, and it's on the edge of your seat type of theater. I mean, it's a page turner, but it does not and will never dictate how I feel about my life or what's going on in my day to day, ever. My power, my sustenance does not lie in what happens in Washington, D.C., or Hollywood, for that matter. That has nothing to do with me. I'm doing my part to show up in the universe in the way I know is most beneficial. I consider my life a political statement. I don't need to be anywhere or take an affiliation to do that. I look at the soul and the essence of a person. I look at the energy of a collective, and I utilize my education the past 40 years to formulate my spiritual points of view and articulate them to you. So as I'm looking at the energy of this week and in part next week, it's intense for all of us. You're going to feel good, bad, and everything in between, and the volume is up, which is a good thing. Let's live it large. Let's live it loud. You know, how do you know where you are if you don't bump into something every now and then, or if you don't trip and fall? You don't know what you're capable of. You don't know what's possible. You don't know what works and what doesn't work. And that's true individually, and that's true collectively. So I just encourage people to not get wrapped up in the energy of the intensity and the change and the chaos, and rather do your best to channel that into elements of your life that you want to see expand. And not every moment has prime opportunity for expansion, but it is an opportunity to learn how to ebb and flow. Ebb and flow. I love, many of you tell me this, but be a buoy in the ocean. That's your job. Your job is to not get angry. I mean, you can do that if that's helpful to you to motivate you in a direction, provided the execution of your intention is peaceful and benevolent in nature. But your job is really to be a buoy in the ocean and enjoy your experience and appreciate the experience that the divine has given you, because every experience is divine food of life. And until we're able to digest that, each moment that comes to us as divine food, and appreciate even those things that don't taste good, that is divine food of life. And that is what has been given to us. And we can't be given something that doesn't serve us, that we don't need. And it's our job to learn how to be a receiver and digest things in order to be more expansive and loving in the world and be that force in consciousness. So energy is moving a lot this week. Good week, the great week for jobs, great week for love, great week for fireworks of all kinds, so interpret that how you need for your love life, your career, for the world at large, but the energy is definitely moving. And next week it's intense again as we get to the last week of the month, and I'll be more detailed in the future messages, but the month ends very sweetly. We are moving into the humanitarian age. We have that energy in the collective. So those of you who are fearful about whatever it is you're fearful about, that's the umbrella we're under. And that is the energy that is moving us forward to our next steps. And as the wonderful opera singer, I'm forgetting her name, it's just fantastic opera singer. It'll come to me. There's no shortcuts to any place worth going, was what she used to say. And it's so true. And why would you want a shortcut? Experience the moment. Just know the difference between what's yours and what isn't yours. Don't invest in external and other people's opinions, ideas. Honor your peace like a newborn baby. Don't let yourself be drawn in to someone else's story of their life. Only be drawn into the story of your life. Anyhow, fascinating week. Have fun with it. Really, have fun with it. See you later.